Welcome, everyone. My name is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for my podcast show, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. In my particular podcast, I focus on short stories, my writing that I love to do. Mostly of the episodes are from my theatrical productions where I wrote, produced, and directed. And more importantly, the main one that I focus on is MOLIAE, that stands for Moments of Love in Ancient Egypt. It's based on my title book, Mitsrayim. Currently, the MOLIAE production is in the prep phase for the prestige Return of MOLIAE Stageplay, where dates have not been announced yet, but will in the forthcoming time. I also have some apps. They are available for download for free on Google Play or in the Apple Store. Please support this podcast by downloading the app, and if you like it, please share it. All right. And in this month of February of my new short story that started this month of Atlantis, I just want to also give a thanks out to the two special guests that I have reading two of the important roles in my particular story, my take on Atlantis. That's Mr. Reese Haynes and Brett Lewis. Thank you so much for being a part of this project of mine. And if you would like to get in contact, network with Mr. Reese Haynes or Mr. Brett Lewis, their contact information will be in the description of this particular episode. So let's go ahead and focus on Atlantis. My take on this is basically dealing with the time frame where it's focusing on a new royal family, as I mentioned last week, and the particular characters that were revealed. Giving you some highlights of last week, that it's during the second astronomical event, during an equinoctial time, where these two twins, a boy and a girl, that were born to a Kobe. He's the father and the main ruler. I don't use the word kings. You're going to notice that. I just felt that it should be focused on leadership. So they hone that as a true title in a sense of their role and their position. So last week we were experienced the birth of the twins, and then towards the end of that you got a future look. So I advanced the story where they're much older now, and now we're doing this week where you will get some more information about the next phase of their destiny. So during this time particular, I'm focusing on where there was many SARs ago, many years, as we say years, cycles ago, where there was a 12th planet. This is coming from the Sumerian text, dealing with the epic of creation, naming it the planet of crossing, that entailed a gravitational pull that changed the course of the order from the initial formation of planets in our solar system, that created battles and wars and so forth. And so constantly the need for peace. And so the two twins symbolize their birth of an opportunity for the alignment of rulership of the planets that were disrupted, and an opportunity to find peace in the region, as well as on Tamat, which is another name for Earth. So in that particular aspect is where I'm focusing on my position of talking about Atlantis. And in this part two, it will be a continuation of my new short story, that we will take another look of the royal family and find out what's the next phase for the twins, right? What's their next duty? And you will get to see that connection of the purpose. I believe purpose, everyone has it, and it's important in life. And so the two twins are named Arante and Maketo, and they are brother and sister, joint rulership soon of the southern region of Atlantis. And you will find more about that particular area, as well as I focus on the position of territory. Akobe is still the main leader in the center of Atlantis, and then you have the north, and that would be their older brother Matum. And then Arente and Maketo, their future is to be joint rulership of the south. So in that retrospect, again, the overall theme, especially for this episode, dealing with purpose, that the Prime Creator sends us hope for peace, even during very challenging times. And these trends mark that symbol in a convenient way to a higher cause within the circle of life. And there are some resistance, or sometimes it's a lot doing life, from those that don't want to change or don't want to see a new framework of understanding. So chaos and separation is the name of the game for their point of position for control. On the other side of that, we have hope, and these two twins symbolize that. Okay, now for future release, Atlantis will eventually go to the method that I do here at my premium podcast, which is clip snippets. If you want the full short story of my production that I'm releasing, my episodes that I'm releasing, you will have a description box below here of this episode. You can click on my patron page and it would take you to how you can learn to be a patron member to get the full short story when I release that. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. For this week of my new short story series for season 2 of my podcast show, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. For this week, podcast entitled Atlantis. Bonus, part 2, entitled The Purpose of Celestial Balance. Opening scene. In the far area of Halls of Reason in Atlantis, the royal chamber, made of blue crystal within the secluded area of Commune, there are columns separating the ruling throne of Akobi. All of Atlanteans and invited ones from afar, from Tamat, of Sumna, all the way to beyond the planet of Mercury and Mars, that we call Mamun and Lamaz. Many dignitaries from afar came to see and acknowledge the twins' future rulership of the southern region of their destiny set forth. It is the high priest Beko, a dear friend of Akobi, that started to speak of the reason before them here in this Apsu. He spoke of the commune forward. From Nana, Ola Mamu, Anawana Baya Lamasa, Tantanten, One Elendas. Translation. We welcome those from planet Mercury and beyond Mars, dignitary rulers visiting Tamat to be here in Atlantis. High Priest Baker assured Akobi that such a treaty amongst those here in attendance will serve well, since now the twins are of age to take over the southern region of Atlantis. As the waterways that ran through the underground of the floor, through the center of authority ruled by Akobi, it eased his thoughts. His guards moved as Akobi positioned himself to stand before everyone of this important moment. He looked throughout and saw many as they were thrilled and excited of the future of Atlantis and their own domain of rulership. As he started to walk forward to take center stage, it was High Priest Beko that joined him side by side as they walked further into the center realm of the rulership hall. It was Akobi that spoke first.
I see my forthright unto you both, and with the equinoctial upon us since your arrival here, your leadership will shine as a spool to a tomb.
A noon.
Doom.
Arete and Maketo stood next to each other with the presence of knowing that they were in the midst of their own destiny forward. And as Apsu came beaming through the open airway of the domain of the Hall of Rulership, they were excited to know that they were about to be granted the leadership of the authority to the southern region of Atlantis. Each received a round blue crystal necklace made from the pristine waters surrounding Atlantis, that it was of the formation from the Apsu of the 3 in Palladians, skies, by the high priest of Beko. As the twins kneeled therein, the high priest Beko said of an ancient saying, A new Noel. Translation: God is the waters that surround and binds us all together as one. That the high priest Baco spoke, that he spoke for their good future and wisdom to bestow on them. There was applause and content of the young children that marked their new beginning within the era of Ur Igma. It was Matun and Legini that came to hug Arente and Maketo while smiling of their new journey. Matun spoke. I would now teach you both the ways of the four winds that move forth the water of Naru in your joint rulership region.
We look forward to that, brother. With your leadership of wisdom, we not fell before you and our fellow Atlantis.
Arente spoke boldly, for he loved and enjoyed the teaching moments from his brother, known throughout the region of Atlantis by his mental strength and combat ability. Maketo spoke as well. It shall be one to know through your sense of leadership and supreme within the outer ways of borders, Matun. Maketo said, smiling. Akobi with the temple high priest made their way to them.
We are grateful, Father, for this honor to serve as joint rulers in a region you once ruled solely.
Maketo nodded and spoke as well. Anum, Arse, we will lead as you, with royal attuned to the bodies of Naru waters above and below, Father.
With you both, it's symbols of two joined forces in this region of Tiamat to bring forth peace, for the balance in our soul realm that we all seek.
The high priest Baco speaks. So shall it be. Let us all grant the now rulers of the southern hemisphere of Atlantis, Arente and Maketo, the twins of the second equinoctial precision that Canaan has sent us, 1 and 9 stars of Tiamat, to bring balance here and in our solar realm plane. Anum.
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 Meanwhile, in the far corners of the gathering, not knowing to those, it was an advisor of the Order of Or named Nosi that turned to the northern guard. Nosi spoke for only him to hear. Allow this moment to be revealed to those in Aweo. I will send more of this, Apsu, before Kingo movement to the north of Atlantis. He handed the northern guard a wrapped up container made of a brown crystal wrapped bottle to the guard. The northern guard nodded as he walked into the dinner hall and vanished into the wall of waterfall in blue. For Nosi knew that in the coming SARS and 10 he would unite his people with the trends assistance of the new era of the equinoctial time. End scene.